Good morning. Today I'm going to do just a little reading of the timeline. There is a very special timeline in this book, Bulletproof, by Jack Poisbiec and Joshua Lysek, and I probably mispronounced both of their names. I would not be surprised at that. But they wrote this great book. It just came out called Bulletproof. I'm in the process of reading it. I probably am only 30 some odd pages in, but in the beginning of the book, they have a timeline. They have a really good timeline that I thought would be good to read. Now, of course, yesterday was, I hate saying anniversary, but it's been 61 years since President John F. Kennedy was murdered in Dallas, Texas. So I'm going to read this. This is just the timeline here starting in this book, Bulletproof, all about President Trump, the attempted assassination on President Trump's life. Here is what they have here in this timeline. Let me pull the mic a little closer. Okay, 2021. And they have it kind of broken up here too. I don't know if the camera will pick this up. But there are three sections. There's Trump activities. There is Crooks, what Crooks was doing. Looks like cameras aren't really picking that up. And then there is the Biden team activities. So we got Trump activities, Crooks activities, Biden activities, all broken up right there like a nice Excel spreadsheet. And I'll go through this as much as I can here. So in 2021, Crooks donated $15 to Act Blue. In the spring of 2023, Crooks began making weapons purchases. In June of 2023, Trump was denied additional Secret Service protection by the Biden administration. At the same time, in June 2023, for Biden, local police offered drone security for the rally, later refused by Secret Service. So that was for one of Biden's rallies. Local police offered drone security. Then it has here on June 12th, for Biden and team activities, a new poll shows Harris polling poorly amid concerns about Biden's age. So as early as June 23, it looks like. This is right. This would be June 2023. Yeah. No, it's got to be 2024. This has got to be 2024. So this June is 2024. They just didn't put that in there. That would have been nice. So June 12th, 2024 is when this poll came out showing Harris was polling poorly as Biden's possible replacement. June 15th, President Trump speaks at the People's Convention in Detroit. June 22nd, Crooks registered for intermediate handgun pistol class at Keystone Shooting Center. June 27th, Trump defeats Biden in debate. The clips go viral. Also on June 27th, Biden has poor performance in first presidential debate against Trump. June 28th, and I just want to stop there for a second because I don't know how anyone can watch the debates from 2020 and really think that Joe Biden won any of those two debates. But there are a lot of people out there that think, including Republicans, who think Biden got the better of the debates in 2020. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. But there's also people that think Harris did well too in the debate against Trump, and I'm on the other side of that one too. Maybe it's because I got Trump in the background and I'm wearing a Trump hat and I'm blinded by Trumpomania. That could be it. Reading on. Okay, so that's June 28th. I love this. I love timelines. And I tried to write my Kennedy and Trump book as a timeline, but it's hard to write a book in a timeline form. But they do it they do it right here. Put it all out there. Put it all in a timeline right there, even before the book starts. That's how you do it. July 2nd. This is under the Biden and team activities. Rep Lloyd Doggett, he's a Democrat representative from Texas, becomes the first sitting Democrat to call for Biden to drop out. So Lloyd Doggett became the first sitting Democrat to call for Biden to drop out publicly on July 2nd. Reports emerge of Michelle Obama discussing coalition of wealthy black donors for Kamala Harris. Then on July 3rd, the Trump campaign announces July 13 rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. So this rally was announced on July 3rd to the public. That would be the earliest possible time that Crooks could have known about this rally, if it's all on the up and up. Now, that same day, there's a leaked video of Trump in a golf cart predicting Biden will quit the race. Quote, he just quit, he's quitting the race, Trump said on July 3rd. So what did Trump know? Also on July 3rd, Biden speaks with Democratic leadership and governors to ease concern. So Biden is now telling people, don't worry about this. It's not going to happen. I'm not going anywhere. Everything is good. We're right on track. I'm the only one who can beat Donald Trump. That's what Biden is saying on July 3rd, 2024. Then on July 5th, Biden tells ABC News his debate performance was due to exhaustion. It's just exhaustion. That's all it was. Biden posts on X, I'm staying in the race. So he's staying in the race. Remember this. This is very, very key here. Earliest dropout, earliest call for Biden to drop out publicly looks like it was July 2nd, according to this book. And Biden is going to continue to say, not going to happen. I'm good. On July 6th, the Crooks, the shooter, he searches online for Trump event dates and Democratic National Convention date. He Googled, how far away was Oswald from Kennedy? And where will Trump speak from at Butler Farm show? So he's investigating this. He's not investigating, but he's researching the Trump rally, trying to find out all of these things about the Trump rally. July 7th, Crooks visits the site of the upcoming rally. So Crooks actually goes there. We're meant to believe he's doing this all on his own. Nobody, just another lone gunman, nobody helping him plan this, nobody helping him set up. He just comes up with all of this on his own. It's possible. July 8th, Biden says it's time to put Trump in a bullseye to donors. Now that is a quote. Quote, time to put Trump in a bullseye to donors. I don't believe Biden really knows what he's talking about in most cases, but I also don't believe that Biden was talking about Trump needs to be shot or anything. It's a term that other politicians have used it too when talking about their political opponent, putting a target on them. It's the same thing. Biden dares Democrats to challenge him at the convention. So on July 8th, Biden also dared the Democrats to challenge him at the convention. Well, dare accepted. July 11th, Biden holds press conference at NATO summit, makes naming errors. So at the NATO summit, I mean, his decline, I believe, has something to do with those shots that he was taking too. But whatever it is, you could see it in 2020. It was already starting then. But by 2021, 2022, I mean, it was bad. And here we are in 2024, and he's forgetting names. We saw, and this is after his debate with President Trump. They can't hide it any longer. July 12th, Trump preparing for Butler, PA rally. Crooks practices at Clarion Sportsman Club rifle range. So at the same time Trump is preparing for his rally in Butler, PA, Crooks is practicing at the Clarion Sportsman Club rifle range. And at that same time, on July 12th, Biden reaffirms he won't drop out at a Michigan rally. FBI arrests Asif Merchant, a Pakistani man with ties to Iran, charged with plotting political assassinations, including against Trump. So on July 12th, the feds knew, the FBI knew about this. They had actually arrested someone. They probably knew a lot earlier about this attempt on Trump's life by a Pakistani man with ties to Iran, who is probably going to be another lone gunman, right? No, it's not a lone gunman when it's a foreign asset, when it's someone that is on our axis of evil, but when it is it is a domestic terrorist, they want to make sure it's not tied to any institution inside the U.S. government. July 13th, Trump arrives at the rally venue around 6:02 p.m. 6:05 p.m., he begins speaking. 6:11:34 p.m., he raises his hand to his right ear after the first shot. 6:12 p.m., he is escorted off stage and he mouths, "Fight, fight, fight." 6:14 p.m., he is taken to Butler Memorial Hospital. 8:42 p.m., he posts a statement on Truth Social. And at 11:21 p.m., he leaves Pittsburgh International Airport. That's all good stuff. That breaks it down, Trump's time, the timeline there. But let's remember, he begins speaking at 6:05 p.m. Then at 6:11, so 6 minutes later, he raises his hand to his right ear after the first shot rang out. Okay, he 1 second later, he drops behind the lectern for cover. And it's a whole minute later, almost 2 minutes, about a minute later. After that, he is escorted off stage after he gets the shoes. Make sure you get the shoes. Must be some most expensive shoes in the world. Should be the last thing he's worried about, but it's image. Keep that image going. All right, at the same time, let's look at Crooks's timeline for July 13th. This is what Crooks did on that same day. On the morning, Crooks buys a 5-foot ladder. He visited a local shooting range to practice with an AR-15 style rifle. He does all this that same morning, the day of the shooting. At 3:35 p.m., Crooks arrives at the rally site with rifle and explosive device. At 4:26 p.m., Beaver County Emergency Service Unit counter sniper texts colleagues about a suspicious person. So they know about this suspicious person, or they're texting about this at 4:26 p.m. And the first shot rings out at 6:11 p.m. So that's almost 2 hours. Almost 2 hours that they knew about this suspicious person. Should have been no way that they would have let Trump go and take these states. He is notoriously late. He's always late for his speeches. Even this speech here, he doesn't begin speaking until 6:05 p.m. He was probably scheduled to start at 5. So I think they could have held out for a couple more minutes, but they didn't. And there's a lot of reasons. If it's a miscommunication, if it's one of those things where, don't know, don't tell, don't touch, we don't know, we didn't know what happened, so we can't report it. Some very strange things happening, but this is what we know so far. At 5:38 p.m., photos of Crooks are shared in law enforcement groups. They already have photos of this guy, and almost 40 minutes before the shooting happened. And they're sharing it in this law enforcement group chat that is not with the Secret Service. The Secret Service is not here. They're not involved in this at all. What are they doing? Where are they at? Why are they not talking to the local authorities? I think that's the biggest question a lot of people have. So they say, okay, 5:38, photos of Crooks shared in law enforcement group chat. 6:08 p.m., Crooks is seen jumping from roof to roof on video footage. That's from people on the ground. Civilian, good citizens are seeing Crooks jumping from roof to roof on the video footage. 6:11:33, that would be 1 second before the first shot. That's when he fires the first shot. So the first shot is fired at 6:11:33. And then Trump raises his right ear a millisecond after that. That's what they're saying. 6:11 with 37, Crooks fires the last of 8 shots at 6:11:49. Fatal shot by Secret Service. He's fatally shot by the Secret Service. At the same time, Biden campaign goes silent, pulls all ads and outbound communications. They go silent, pulling all the ads and outbound communications. The Biden team issues memos to refrain from public comment. Don't publicly make any comments. It looks like things that they would do if Trump had been shot. Foreknowledge, forewarning, anything like that. Haven't seen any of that yet, but definitely what you would want to look for in a case like this. What preparations, what things are they preparing for? Like September 11th, like JFK. You would look for those same things here. And hopefully Trump's investigative committee on assassinations, that's what they will be focused on. We'll see. The next day, July 14th, 7:36 a.m., Trump posts on Truth Social about attempts on his life. He then flew to Bedminster to Milwaukee with Lindsey Graham, which is weird. You don't want to be around Lindsey Graham after you just got shot. Maybe he's using Lindsey Graham so they won't try to take another attempt on him. We know Lindsey Graham is a very deep, swampy type snake. Now, Trump is seen in public with bandage on ear on that same day. So they do have a photo, and I'm sure they love that. The only thing they wanted even more was photos of Trump wearing a diaper on his face during the pandemic. Also on July 14th, now Crooks is identified publicly as a shooter. So he's identified a day later. The explosive devices found in Crooks' Hyundai Sonata. This is an interesting point here too, because there are 3 vehicles that are reported that are going around at this time. There is a white van, there is Crooks's Hyundai car, and then there is a bike too. So 3 vehicles, and it doesn't have to be a motorbike, but and so it's very strange here to think one person could have all of these vehicles, could be associated with all 3 of these. It's very difficult to believe that. It's one of the first times that made me think that there has to be other people involved. One of the circumstantial evidence, I guess you would call it. Okay. So then the FBI accesses Crooks's email account. So they access his email account the next day. The FBI says no clear motive or political ideology identified. So that's what they have for Crooks on July 14th. No clear motive. And they still don't have a motive. Some random lone nut running around who wanted to kill President Trump and shoot at other people, possibly. 2:05 p.m., Biden speaks about the incident in a White House briefing. Remember, and then he tells we're going to have a longer conversation. So then at 8:02 p.m., Biden addresses the nation, and that's where he says we need to tone down the rhetoric, which didn't last very long, and they wouldn't need. And he calls on all of us to tone down the rhetoric, even though the violent rhetoric was always for the last 8 years. Since 2016, the violent rhetoric was always on the same side. It was always the people who did not like Trump. Pro-Trump people were not violent. They're just not. Definitely not violent towards towards Biden or any of those idiots. July 15th, President Trump appears at Republican National Convention with bandaged ear alongside VP pick J.D. Vance. And that was the big one. And you can see the bandage gets smaller and smaller and smaller till it's finally gone. There's a little tiny scar from what they say. At that same time, July 15th, this is under Crooks. The FBI confirms Crooks's phone had saved photos of James Crumbly. Who's James Crumbly? Additional explosives found at Crooks's residence. I want to see who James Crumbly is. Biden interview with NBC's Lester Holt. So that's Biden's interview with Lester Holt, and I'm sure he tells Lester Holt, "I'm not going anywhere." But I want to look up James Crumbly and see who is James Crumbly. I have no idea who that is. I don't know who a lot of people are. Oh, James Crumbly. Okay. Let me just pull this up here. This is James Crumbly. If it's the right James Crumbly. James Crumbly, father of the Michigan school shooter. Okay. I guess I gotta read. CNN. Parents of Michigan school shooter sentenced. So these are the parents of the Michigan school shooter that were sentenced. The parents of the teenager who killed 4 students in the 2021 school shooting at Oxford, Michigan, were each sentenced to 10 to 15 years. So maybe he's researching what would happen to his parents, showing he may have a love for his parents. Very premeditated by any way that you look at it, any way you cut it. That's interesting that he was researching, or he had saved a saved photo of James Crumbly. That's very interesting. There's also additional explosives found at Crook's residence. So how does this guy have explosives at his residence? The parents don't notice. The parents didn't really notice too much. And as a parent myself, that's pretty disturbing, but it can happen. It can happen, I guess. July 16th, Trump continues at the RNC, personally reaches out to Helen Compitore to express sympathy. That's for the man that died, that was murdered on that same day, Corey Compitore. And then there were 2 others that were injured, and they are named here as well too. We don't know a lot about them. Haven't said a lot about them. Maybe they don't want to, but I'm surprised we haven't heard more from those other 2 people. But maybe in the future we will. Or maybe they just want to stay focused. Okay. Also, July 16th, Crooks' parents hired Quinn Logue law firm. So the parents hired lawyers from the Quinn Logue law firm on July 16th. And pretty smart on their part. Biden resumes campaigning in Las Vegas. Biden health scare in Las Vegas. Jack Black canceled Tenacious D world tour due to Kyle Gass's comments. What are these comments by Kyle Gass? So now I got to look that up. We're going to go and look up Kyle Gass Trump comments. You can't see my screen. I did not know about this. Kyle Gass apologizes for Trump assassination remark. Okay. Maybe this has it here. Happy birthday, dear Kyle. Happy birthday to you. Make a wish, Canada. Don't miss Trump next time. Couldn't hear what he said. Thank you. We love you, kids. Take it backstage and cut it into pieces, please. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. How about this guy? Kyle Gass. Happy birthday, Captain. Look. All right, I did this. I gotta go see what he said, because I couldn't hear whatever he said. Highly inappropriate, dangerous mistake. Let's see what was actually said, though. I don't know if the video picked it up. Okay. During the band's July 14th show in Australia, Black surprised Gass by bringing out a cake on stage to celebrate the latter's 64th birthday. It was a spontaneous moment during the show and not a pre-rehearsed bit. Black asked Gass to make a wish while blowing out the candles, to which Gass responded, "Don't miss Trump next time." Oh, okay. Don't miss Trump next time. Yeah, that's wow. Okay. That was July 14th. So that was the day after. Don't miss Trump next time. Wow. That is disturbing. Okay. I don't know if the audio picked that up or not on the video. I couldn't hear it myself. But wow. Wow is all I'm going to say. Wow. 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 I I'm not. I should be. I shouldn't be shocked, but I am. I am shocked at that. I still get shocked with all the hatred towards President Trump. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And we lived through George Bush Jr. There's like no hatred towards him now. Now he's the Republican darling. But obviously it's a different. There are two factions within the Republican Party. There's the MAGA, and then there are the rhinos. That's it. And then maybe some moderate, some people are kind of in the middle. Old school Republicans, just like old school Democrats, I would say, or I would at least hope. Only God knows for sure. I'll keep going a little bit more. I just want to go about 20, 30 minutes, and I can see it's already starting to buffer, so I probably won't stay on too much longer. Okay, July 17th, Biden considers dropping out of the race. So on July 17th, Biden is now considering dropping out of the race. Obama, Pelosi, Schumer began orchestrating coup to push out Biden. DHS Inspector General launches review of Secret Service protocols. Biden tests positive for COVID-19. This is all on July 17th. That's a lot of stuff happening on one day. Biden tests positive for COVID-19 while campaigning in Las Vegas. Biden returns to Delaware due to COVID-19. That's a lot to happen right there. So Biden is considering dropping out of the race. The coup begins against him. The DHS inspector launches review of Secret Service protocols. Biden tests positive all on July 17th. That's a lot to go through, especially for an old man. July 18th, Trump gives acceptance speech at Republican National Convention honoring victims of assassination attempt. YouGov poll shows majority thought assassination attempt would increase Trump's chances. For crooks, FBI is reviewing contents of crooks' electronic devices. What they find on those electronic devices are pretty interesting, and I hope they do not hide that stuff or bury it or cremate it like they did with crooks soon after without telling Congress. At the same time, July 18th, more reports of Biden considering dropping out, reports of Kamala Harris team discussing Biden stepping down, Green Day concert incident with Trump mask. I'm not even going to go look at that, but it's another thing I think where Green Day holds up the head of President Trump. So even after this, they have not learned, and that's their freedom of speech. I think. I don't like it, but I do respect the freedom of speech. So if they want to say that, there are consequences for making threats, but holding up a dead severed head or whatever, I don't know if that constitutes as a threat. It's a fine line there between freedom of speech and that. But if people support it, if it doesn't bother their fan base, that's on them, and I've never been a fan of them, so it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't affect me too much. But Mark Hamill, that one hurt. That one hurt a bit. I got over it. Thankfully, the last 3 Star Wars movies were terrible. If they had been good, it may have hurt more because I would be watching those movies more. But as it is, I cannot watch the last 3 Star Wars movies. They were just ridiculous. Made absolutely no sense to me. So, July 19th, Corey Compatore's funeral is held at Cabot, PA. And on that same day, 10 more sitting Democrats call for Biden to drop out on July 19th. Donors report fundraising has slowed. Money's slowing down. And we know how much they spent, right? Kamala would end up spending like over $1 billion and then owing $500 million or something, some crazy amount. And then they looked at where the money went to, and no mainstream media except for Fox News covered it. That was it. So July 20th, Biden refused to drop out of the race. So after all this talk and everything, Biden is still saying on July 20th he's not dropping out. Well, not so fast. July 21st, Trump posts commentary on Truth Social about Biden's exit. Also, July 24th, Biden campaign co-chair Cedric Richmond insists on Face the Nation that Biden will not step down. That same day, Biden announces he is dropping out of the race. Kamala Harris becomes presumptive nominee, and then that's when Trump wrote on Truth Social. And actually, Kennedy held a hearing. Kennedy held a press conference that same day too, to let people know, hey, I told you so. Basically, I told you there's something wrong with this guy. His cognitive whatever it was is not there. The dude is not. He's not all there. That's the layman term of it. Not the eloquent version that Kennedy always has. So, July 22nd, Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheeto testifies before Congress. We know how that went. So, you get these people in front of a camera where it isn't scripted, where they actually have to answer questions and have to respond to the public and are held accountable by the public, and things change. And that's when you find out what is really going on. So, 22nd, Cheeto is in front. She testifies before Congress, doesn't really say much. And then July 23rd, Crooks's body is released for cremation. And a lot of people didn't even know that, weren't told that. And also July 23rd, on the same day that the cremation of Crooks's body, it also just happens to be the same day that Cheeto resigns as Secret Service Director. So she resigned that same day. She's done. A day after testifying before Congress. That's all it took. She couldn't take anymore. She was not qualified for that job. She should not have had the job. July 24th, David Dutch, a 57-year-old Marine Corps veteran wounded in the shooting, discharged from Allegheny General Hospital. So David Dutch was one of the guys who was injured. I didn't know he was a Marine Corps veteran. Interesting. July 26th, Trump announces via a Truth Social post that he plans to return to Butler, PA for another rally. So as early as July 26, 2024, Trump is already saying we're going back to Butler, going back to Cali. On that same day, James Copenhaver, a 74-year-old rally attendee who was wounded in the shooting, was just discharged from the hospital. So within 2 days, both of the other two males that were injured were discharged from the hospital. One was 57, a Marine Corps veteran. The other one was 74. And they don't say, obviously, they don't say too much about James Copenhaver. July 29th. Now, this what happens July 29th. This will be the last one I do. Elon Musk posts about Google search issues regarding Trump. And Secret Service counter sniper emailed entire uniform division criticizing leadership. And I'm going to stop right there. Next, we'll go through still maybe I'll come back later tonight or maybe tomorrow. But there's still maybe another few things to go here. Well, maybe I'll just read a few more. July 30th, Google acknowledges and begins fixing search issues related to Trump. Active Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe testifies about security failures. July 31st, Democrats begin branding J.D. Vance as weird in coordinated messaging. That's all July. I'll come back next time for August. There's only a few things more for August. This is a great book. If you are looking for a book about the assassination attempt on Trump's life, get this book. I just got it. I'm going to get back to reading it. God bless you all. And remember, Jesus Christ loves you, and so do